my pride and my ego automatically dove in and said, I don't want to work with you anymore because I've been battling all my life on how to read, and you gave me just a little piece of everything that I need. I felt so confident, just that little piece, knowing that I can take it from here. Oh, I was wrong. She grabbed the whiteboard and she put a one-syllable word up. She said, read it. I looked at this one-syllable word, and I'm just trying to manipulate it. I'm trying to break it apart, but I can't. My heart's starting to pound a little faster, and I'm looking at her, and my fists start balling up, and I'm a big guy, so it's like, I'm ready to handle business with you, Miss Sue. I'm ready to scream. I'm ready to choke you out, because right now I feel in my heart you picking on me right now. She's patient, quiet, sound it out. Break it apart. Use the little information that I gave you and read this one-syllable word. I want y'all to remember this moment of us. Just imagine a kid and you teaching, you tutoring. Just that kid looking at you. That was me. Capture that moment. And I started, that pause moment for me, it felt like 2 to 3 hours. I had just a flashback of all the teachers that told me that I wouldn't make it. All my friends that was picking on me. How I was being teased. Miss Sue is there helping me. But in my mind, automatically trauma from education, from school. I was already going through a lot of trauma at home. But in my mind right there, it's like, okay, there you go again. There you go again. Somebody's picking on me. Somebody's trying to tease me because I can't read. So my fist got tighter. I'm sweating. I'm ready to explode. I started this. She's trying to help me. Then I took a breath. I started crying. I started realizing the true fact. I do need extra help. This lady is trying to help me for free. I searched all my life trying to learn how to read. God blessed me with her in my life. I got the answer. I found out some stuff about dyslexia. Now I have to humble myself. And the biggest ego part was, I should have learned all this in first grade. I'm 27 years old and I'm working with a tutor teaching me how to read some of the stuff that I should have learned when I was in first, second grade. Now let me tell you where I come from. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. And when I say Detroit, I'm not talking 12, 20 mile or anything like that. Literally in the heart of Detroit, where there's only one house on the block. I got 6 brothers and 2 sisters. My grandma raised me. Mom on drugs, my daddy wasn't around. Common story. It was 14 people living in this house. Uncles, aunties, cousins, living in a 2-bedroom house. So throughout middle school, I've been teased, I've been picked on. My brothers and sisters can read really good. They can spell, they was educated. They can catch on to education really good, real fast. But for some odd reason, I couldn't. Never knew why. Brave, strong, love asking, working with the teachers. I got a big heart, but now this big heart is being pressured. Now this big heart is being stumped on because I don't look or talk like everybody else. I couldn't talk clear. I couldn't put sentences together. It sucked. It sucked. Middle school come around. And now I got an opportunity to either go to school or become a gangster. I can't read, spell. Look, this gangsterhood looking really good for me. So I started coming in the house late. I started being on the block. School just not for me. And my grandma stayed up one night. And she called me coming in the house late. I'm in middle school. I feel grown already. And she said, hey, we ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna come in this house late. You gonna follow these rules, or you gonna be put out this house. What's the rules? You're gonna believe in God. You're gonna pray. You're gonna take care of your family. Y'all gonna love each other. And education. I heard the first two things. God, family. Cool. But Granny, how can I take care of education? I'm not telling her I can't read. I know for a fact my grandma knows me. My grandma knows me in and out. I'm not telling her I can't read, but she know how to put two and two together. Okay, cool. I don't want to be homeless. I don't got nowhere else to go. High school come around. I gotta find a way to keep me in school. I'm dealing with all this trauma in school and at home. Okay, cool. What can I do to keep me in school? Oh, I came up with a plan. I'm gonna play sports. So it's either sports or being in the hood. There we go. We got two options now, Dion. Dion, you got two golden options. You can make money this way, or you can pick sports. Just like any athlete or any person that's trying to get out the hood, they're gonna pick sports for the most part. But remember, everybody is not an athlete. Everybody can't play sports. But I was blessed. Okay, I'm gonna play sports. First day of tryouts of basketball, coach said, in order for you to be on this basketball team, you gotta have a 2.5. Once again, I'm running into this wall. I can't read, spell, I can't talk clear. Something going on with my mind, my brain, and I don't know what. So I started strategizing. I did the bare minimum in high school to get me passed. I went to school every day. Participation points. I turned in my work. Right or wrong, you get a seat for turning in your work. And I love my teachers. So I got a little charm to me. You get what I'm saying? I got a little charm to me. So I know how to bring the apple or make the teacher laugh a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. Teachers, the security guards, everybody loved me. I got away with people. I don't know. So, did the bare minimum. I played football my senior year. I balls out, and I'm getting all these scholarship offers. In my mind, I'm thinking, I'm gonna do the LeBron James, go right to the NFL or the NBA. My coach called me in and said, there's some college coaches here. They want to talk to you. Oh, I'm not going to college. I'm going to the league. They said, you got to go through college to get to the league. Instantly, I threw that dream out the door. Why did I throw it out the door? Because I couldn't read. I did everything to get a 2.5. My brothers and sisters just graduated with 3.0. I can't read or spell. Now I'm struggling. So, my grandma again forced me to go to college. You ain't going in the streets. I go to college. And I faced some of my hardest times in college because I couldn't read. That plan I had in high school didn't work. That go to class every day, that sit in the front row. A professor actually told me that I was too stupid to graduate from college because I didn't know my states from my city. I'm crying, I'm going home, and I'm just yelling, and I called my grandma. Grandma, this professor just told me I'm too stupid to go to college. He told me I never graduate from this class. Granny, why you make me come to college? I told you. And the only way I could talk clear is if I'm yelling. And my grandma put that bass on me. Who you talking to like that? I started talking clear, like, Granny, I'm struggling. I'm failing this class, and I don't know what to do. And she said something that changed my whole mindset about the world, school, and everything. She said, Dion, it's okay to ask for help. The basic, and I'm sitting there. She said, it's okay to ask for help. Next day, I go to the disability office. I ask for help. I get the help. My chief disability officer came out, helped me out. She wasn't allowed to do any of my works. I was allowed to take my exams there, take my test there, study there. And then she read to me. She will read to me. And I will sit there and I'll be listening to her, reading to me the instructions. Another thing happened, something magical happened. I heard the answer. When she read it to me, I heard the answer. And I thought to myself while I'm sitting there, oh, I'm about to graduate from college. Oh, I'm not done. I just need some help. I just struggle with reading. I'm about to prove to this professor that I'm about to graduate from college. I'm about to prove to my friends back home because they kept on saying that I wouldn't make it. They kept on saying that I wouldn't be anything in life. They kept on saying the streets is calling me. The OGs from the hood kept on saying that, hey, you were valuable here. So I'm being recruited to go back home. So I'm realizing all these things. So on the football field, I'm still struggling. So I'm not learning how to read. I'm just getting help. I'm just asking for help. They're not fixing the problem. I'm just learning how to ask for help. Not learning how to read at all. Football field, I struggle. I'm struggling like a mother. I can't go. I don't know my left from my right. I don't know my east. I don't know why my brain is looking at these plays and not catching on. So for 3-4 years, the coaches couldn't trust me. I'm athletic, I'm talented, I got all this talent, but I don't know how to read the playbook. The coach right now who's at Michigan, the head coach, Sharon Moore, was my tight end coach. And he came in my senior year. And he saw me just balling my butt off on a practice field. But he saw that I was messing up every single time. Coach Moore called me to his office. I said, Deion, why are you messing up so much? And I got so tired of just fighting with myself and everybody around me about this reading problem. He said, tell the truth, just tell me what's going on. Why are you not reading your playbook? I was. And I just let go. I looked him in his eyes and said, Coach Moore, I can't read. I struggle with reading. I'm thinking he about to laugh at me like all other teachers. I'm thinking he about to make fun of me like all my friends. I'm thinking that this burden, this cloud is just, this problem with reading is just draining me. And I just told him. He gave me a hug. He said, I'll never leave you. I'm always be with you. He said, I got your back. Then he gave me a few tips. He said, because in football, it's a lot of audibles. So that's where I was messing up at. The quarterback would say 44 East, 44 West. I don't know East from West. So he gave me a tip. Like, when you hear a West, it rhymes with left. So he's like, what's East? I'm like, right. What? That just took my confidence to a whole nother level. He allowed me to use crayons and markers and different color things to be creative on a playbook, on a whiteboard. What? Now, if I was playing at a 50%, I am playing at 100%. Because now I'm having fun with the playbook. Now I'm getting comfortable with the playbook. I bossed out my senior year in college in football. Had one of the best careers, highlights, touchdowns. Everybody's knowing me on around campus because I got a big heart because the teachers and everybody on campus love me, but also on the football field now. Now I'm on this football field. I'm balling out and I get to spread my wings and be who I am and comfortable. The head coach calls me. He said, Deion, do you know that every NFL team is interested in you right now? Boom. I signed with the Detroit Lions after the draft. The best moment ever. My grandma was super excited. She wasn't happy about football. She was happy that I gave her my diploma still reading at a 4th grade level. I didn't give her money. I didn't give her anything that is valuable. I gave her a college diploma and she thought I gave her the world. The joy, the happiness that brought to her. So, I signed with the Detroit Lions. My grandma gets sick. Going to practice every day, busting my butt. The coach. And you gotta remember, the NFL is the highest level. It's nothing higher than the NFL in football. Everybody fighting for a position. Everybody fighting for a spot. And the NFL, and my NFL coach find these same problems. Or I'm struggling with the playbook. Ain't no markers. Ain't no colorful markers. Either you know the stuff or you don't. So now I'm struggling with the NFL playbook. Go to the hospital. My grandma said, "How's football going?" I just lied. "Granny, everything going good. You need to worry about you, Granny. You need to focus on you, Granny. Get healthy. Calvin Johnson love me. Matthew Stafford love me. Everything going good." No, I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm struggling. All I got to do is tell the truth. "Granny, I'm struggling with the playbook again. The coaches keep giving me opportunity, but I'm scared." And when I opened up the playbook, I said, "Oh, I got to relearn this. I got to fight through all this stuff again." Detroit Lions cut me the first time. They called me back. "Look, we're going to give you one more opportunity. Either you're going to get in this playbook or you're not." I'm in the playbook. I just can't read the playbook. All I got to do is say, "I need some help." But then my ego came back up. Or they're going to laugh at you. They're going to cut you. Everybody fighting for a spot here. Got to remember, I ain't got my family out the hood yet. I ain't signed that big contract yet. I'm still fighting for a spot. All I do is got to ask for help. This problem with reading keep coming back up. I already asked my disability for help. They ain't fixed the problem. I already asked these teachers and everybody that I'm coming to. It's not fixing the problem. It's a problem here that I can't fix. I can't trust nobody. Granny told me to ask for help, but nobody ain't helping me. I'm asking for help, but nobody's teaching me how to read. Nobody is teaching me how to read or telling me what's going on in my brain. I balls out again with the NFL. I said, "You know what? I'm just going to work a little bit harder. I'm going to go a little bit faster. I'm going to make a big block." I scored a touchdown in a scrimmage, running the wrong route. Coaches, everybody going crazy. My position coach come over and hug me. He said, "You know, that feel good, didn't it?" I said, "Yeah, coach, it sure did." He said, "You know you just ran the wrong route. You know you just ran the wrong route." Sick to my stomach. Because I'm thinking about my grandma, I'm thinking about my mom, I'm thinking about everybody back at home, and I gotta help my family out. I missed out on millions and millions of dollars due to the fact that I was scared to ask for help, to the fact that I couldn't read the playbook. Detroit Lions cut me again. Then my grandma passed away. And when my grandma passed away, she told me to do 3 things. Go forgive my mom, go start a family of my own, and move to Pittsburgh. My agent called me. He said, "It's more NFL teams calling you. Detroit Lions want to give you another chance." I said, "No. I'm never going to be able to. I'm always running to the same problem over and over. I can't read." Pandemic comes. My wife tells me she's pregnant. I said, "You know what? I got to fix this problem. I have to fix this problem. I want to read to my daughter. I want to be that father that read to my daughter. Nobody read to me when I was a child, but I want to fix this problem." And I was blessed to meet Miss Sue. So that moment right there, I asked y'all to pause at. Let's replay it. All that anger, all that passion, all the stuff that I done been through. Do you know how hard it is to graduate from college reading at a 4th grade level? That's almost impossible. So when I came in here and I'm looking at all this stuff, it's bringing back memories with me and Miss Sue tutoring. We have an opportunity to help these kids either make a decision. Because some of these kids that can't read, they might not be dyslexic, but this Orton Gillingham, this program can define their whole life from either going to prison or going to school. It can be that simple. Something that actually works. I kept going on with Miss Sue. I kept on working. I kept on coming back because I was ready to quit. But she stuck it out with me, just like my grandma did. She just reminded me of just how to keep fighting, to fight through something. Do you know how hard it is to learn how to read and go backwards after learning all these things? It's the hardest thing in the world. One of the toughest things. But once I learned how to read my first book, and I started reading more books, I started getting addicted to learning how to read. Oh, it became joyful to learn how to read. It's like I was able to see for the first time. I was able to walk and breathe for the first time. I know I'm getting so excited, but this what reading did to my whole life. I done been to the ESPYs. I done been to the Sports Science Award. I've been around the world. But it was nothing that came close to learning how to read to my daughter at nighttime. To see her reenact the stuff that I'm reading. Me being passionately reading to her. Then telling my story and seeing other people like, oh, that's my problem. All I do is got to make a few tweaks. Guess who we got to come to? The teachers. We trust the teachers. I trust you. Why didn't y'all help me? Thank you so much. My name is Dion Butler. Which one? I couldn't read it. I gave up on it.
You didn't go to the Lions?
I did. I played for a while. I played throughout the summer, but I just walked away from it because it was a problem. I didn't know how to read at that time. I learned how to read when I was 27. I was with the Lions when I was 21. So I learned how to read during the pandemic. I just learned how to break down these syllables. I just learned about the Orton Gillingham not too long ago. And I love this Orton Gillingham. I love this teaching style. I love that I can go in and I can break down words and I can take my time and I can breathe. Opening up books and I'm not panicking and I'm not frustrated. Calm and I'm smooth. I'm looking up words that I never looked up. I love words now. That's crazy. I never loved words. I'm a big Bible fan. I used to only listen to the Bible. Now I read and hear my voice, and when I hear my voice reading, I can't even believe it. That's the craziest. Education is supposed to be there for us from a child, from kids, from elementary, from middle school. We were supposed to learn this stuff. Now I feel like I'm just hearing my voice. I couldn't stutter. I couldn't put sentences together. Do I sound like I stutter now? I sound pretty clear? Very direct. All because, thank you, amen. All because this Orton Gillingham, all because of me learning the Bible teams and putting all these things together. Yes.
So if you were sitting or speaking in front of young man, what is like one thing that you would tell them? Like
Let go.
Let go, okay.
Let go.
I was going to tell
Stop
them
fighting.
it's okay to
Ask for help. Absolutely. Stop fighting.
Dion and I have talked a lot about this, what you would say, and I have to tell you, one of the biggest frustrations he and I have talked about is you can tell young people, don't give up, work hard, all of that. It doesn't mean jack if a teacher doesn't have the skill to help them. Seriously. And it's not the teacher's fault. I mean, I taught for 7 years before I knew about this because when I went through college, I graduated in '79, it was all pretty much whole language. I mean, I just didn't even know what I didn't know. And I was trying everything I knew. And so that's the reason I think it's important. And I've told Dion when he goes to schools, you gotta talk to schools and teachers. And these teachers, we need access to this. We need to know about this, because how do we know to use it? And it's really, if you go back to the 60s or before the 60s, knowing the linguistics of English, knowing how English is put together, is quite elegant actually. And we are teaching English, reading it and spelling it. We should understand it intricately, how it's put together. That's all this is really. And then we're using, the visual, auditory, tactile way to teach it. But you're just becoming linguists when you learn this method. And I tell my students, Dion is a linguist now, because he knows the English language and how it's built. And he can spell too. That has to be right in there. This guy had to do dictation lessons every lesson. I don't want to steal the fire. I just get really worked up here.
Think about it as an adult. When you grow up and you finally when I finally figured some stuff out to put these words together, it's like that storm is gone. It's like I can enjoy life. I can read a full menu. I used to get so frustrated with my wife because they family go and they big on board games. I never played a board game. Her mother said, "Why do he hate us so much?" I was so scared to tell you I couldn't read some of these board games. I didn't have fun throughout life. That's miserable. That is so miserable, and it's not fair, right? I get life is not fair, but some things should come to us because this is a part of our life, like breathing. We shouldn't have to pay for air. Okay, cool. Why do I have to fight through all this stuff that I'm already fighting in my community, in my neighborhood? I'm already fighting all this poverty stuff, but why do I gotta come to school and fight the fact that I can't read even when I'm trying? So like Ms. Sue said, you don't know what you don't know, but at the same time, it's like, y'all have this information now. What are y'all gonna do about it? Y'all have this powerful information. It's 84% of American adults in prison systems, and they can't read over a 4th grade level. Well, we gotta start making a connection here. They angry. I got angry when she was, you know what I mean? When she was saying, read this. What? Who you talking to? Are you making fun of me right now? She was there to help me. Just a snap like that, an impulsive decision. But then, when we got working together and she's teaching me these things, I'm like happy. She's challenging me and I'm challenging her back. Right? I'm going through this system with her. I'm mastering it. I'm up at 3 o'clock every morning going through this stuff.
You guys, that is real. You won't believe it, but that is real. In his workout space, because I know where his room is from the Zoom, he's made posters of like syllable types and VCCV, and I'm like, this guy's serious, man. He's going after this the way he did football. And he was like no other student I ever had, but I mean, you just went after it like something else.
It helped. I saw just a little improvement. I said, oh, I'm not dumb. I can read. Everybody can actually read. And when I was working with Ms. Soup in the beginning stage, I would rather run 20 miles. And this is no joke. I actually did because I was so mad. And I got up and I ran the next day because I was ready to give up. And I kept praying while I'm running. Like, this is tough. Well, not tough when you first start, but as an adult, when you learn so many bad habits of cutting through and just guessing and looking at words, and you don't know what a word is, and you just guessing, and I'm trying to fill in the blanks. That's hard. So I got up and I ran 20 miles.
Hey, Dion.
Yes.
I wondered if Jules, Mrs. Jules, Dion's wife, and this is his little girl, Selena. I just wonder if Jules could share with the people in the room of how her life has changed since you were.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely changed, like, his mood. Coming from the wife, I gotta say that, because I'm the one that notices it the most. But it almost felt like it brought a sense of relief once he finally, learned how to read. It brought, that anger that he just had often. He covered it up at the best he could, but it was like he finally could, like he says, breathe, and turned into I hate to say it, like a much happier person because of this. Like, I didn't think something so simple could bring that much, relief to him. And it's just like it has built better relationships between us and other people in his life, that he's just now like, okay, like, now I know why I was so angry all the time. And like, now I know why I was angry at people that couldn't help me because they didn't know how to. Like, and it's brought forgiveness in his life too, for those who he felt like didn't catch this when they should have, because he understands that's not, they're limited by what they have. So it's definitely, made him happier. And I hear him every night upstairs reading a book to Selena, and the excitement out of it. Before it was like, nah, you do it, or you read this paper, I don't want to read it. Like, and it was, put more responsibility on me, but now he's really, felt a sense of relief and excitement for life once he figured this out.
So you guys, when I said last week when I was dropping off those materials, you're gonna change lives, I'm not kidding. And I've been doing this for 25 years. All ages. I think the community college level that I taught was probably the coolest, because adults are just cool to teach, but you will change lives. And Susan knows this, she's trained a lot of people.
And what I said on the first day, that sometimes we think that teaching this kind of stuff is gonna be boring for kids, but you see, even for adults, it's so exciting to be able to be successful at something that you feel has been open to everybody else, but not to you, and all of a sudden, you can do it, and that kind of motivation is just life-changing. And it doesn't matter whether you're 7 or 27, it is life-changing.
Susan, I tutor, after school, and I have dyslexic students, and a lot of the parents are dyslexic of these kids. And I have one that's a neuroscientist, and he will sit in on some of the sessions, and he's like, he's a terrible speller, and he's like, oh, and then I'll teach him. I mean, my parents would become better spellers if they sit in on the sessions. It's really, Yet they have such great compensating skills because they're so bright, just like you had compensating skills to make it. But you know, I've had one of them say, you know, maybe you should be my tutor, because that's this little thing that they kind of keep hidden. But with computer technology now, they can hide out a little easier. You know.
I got 5 questions for you. Maybe the most important one is, you know, I think we all resonate with when you said you have all of this educational trauma. Can you speak to, like, what should we say instead of what we tend to say? What would have been, like, I keep thinking, like, what made you, when you had all of these walls built up, what made you finally say, like, okay, I can do this?
So my motivation was my daughter. I feel like generations, you pass down certain things to generations. If I don't learn how to read, then I pass it down to her if she becomes this, if she has this dyslexia. But if I'm able to fix it, I can fix time and for her future and save her the trauma. And one of the biggest things, and I'm happy y'all in here doing this, because I'm sure that I went to Central Michigan. I'm sure somebody thought in the back of their mind and said, he's probably dyslexic. Nobody spoke up. I'm not kidding y'all. I went to every disability. I went to every teacher. Ms. Sue I showed her my report card and my everything. She seen that I had 2 English classes. One I failed with a D and another one I passed with an A. The one when I failed with D focused a lot on just structure, writing, and all this stuff. And I would stay after class with her and I'd get to your answer. I'm asking for help and she would help me. And it got to one point where she got so tired of me coming every single day after class, and she looked at me and said, I can't not help you. I don't know how to help you. I'm happy she told me the truth, but do you know somebody who can help me? I failed that class with a D. Then I passed the class, this next English class is interpreted, interpreted English.
Well, it's like more of a speech related.
Yeah, it's more like a speech, and I get to act out what I write. And he said, just be yourself. So he saw that my handwriting was messed up. He saw my format was horrible. But he said, speak from the heart. I told a story about my childhood. And he said, I've been working this job for almost 15 years, and I never saw somebody as genuine, as pure as you. I'm not dumb, I have talent. He was able to help me in the best way that he could. As a teacher, if you don't know how to help a child, you can say that. I can find somebody, I can research, I can help or send you to somebody that can guide you and help you with this problem. That's the best. If you don't know how to help somebody in this area, that's an amazing tool to do, because if a kid like me is searching, that means he's trying or she is trying to find something that's a problem with her, with them internally. Do that kind of, I'm sorry, I tell a story, so like, okay, cool. No problem. Yes.
I was just wondering how you guys connected, you and Sue. Like, was it, so you're with the Lions and then you finally, okay, how did that happen?
I got, after the Lions, I went right into my career. I got my degree in child development, so I'm always curious. And actually that professor, I was going to sports management. And that professor told me all that stuff, I said, oh, no, I'm straight. This ain't the course for me. Then I got into my degree in child development. So after the Lions, I went right into helping kids. And during the pandemic, obviously everything stopped and I couldn't do all this stuff and I was focusing on me. So I have been telling my story because this is what, I'm a spiritual person. And God told me to go tell my story to the world. And when he was telling me these things, I'm doing them. I'm like, I'm blotting it out to the world. A friend of Miss Sue saw that I was telling my story, how I graduated from college reading at a 4th grade level, knew her, and she said, it is a true way to learn how to read. She said, all these fake other stuff, she said, it's a true way. She said, the OG, I thought it meant original God. She said, the OG, I'm from the hood, I think that means original God, but it's the Orton Gillingham. So when she connected me to Miss Sue, I went through a lot of stuff, and I'm like, man, this lady ain't about to help me. She ain't no way to read. But then she started flowing. I'm like, oh, this is destiny. I prayed for this. I needed this. Boom.
So, like I said at the beginning, Elise, who's the common friend, had said, you should come to this meeting. It was a bunch of people. We were starting to work on this legislation, I think, I don't know, but Dion tells a story. And I was just like, oh, this is terrible. And I thought, I wonder if he has dyslexia. He thought he did, but and that's when I chatted with him. And then I said, can I talk to you afterwards? And we talked on the phone forever. And then I was just like, hey, you wanna go on a Zoom and I'll test you? And I used the Gallisto Ellis, which had, a different way to screen them. And then I just offered to help him. I mean, I don't know. I really loved teaching adults when I was at Lansing Community College. And so, I didn't quite know where it was gonna go, and we just kept going. And there were some moments, like that moment you described. I didn't remember it that way exactly, but you probably it stuck with you more, but I do remember you getting really upset and getting tears, and I just felt horrible. And then another time when I gave you the word bread, and he couldn't hear the R. He was having trouble with that blend, and he was like, and I remember he would have his whiteboard right here, and he would just, and I'd say, Dion, just take a breath. It's okay. You're gonna get this. You know this, because I've been doing the Kilpatrick's activities with him. Like say bread, now say bread, and don't say ruh. So he's able to pull those phonemes out, and he was able to get it. But this is a grown man, and it's kind of you're putting your ego on the line. But I think we got through a few of those bumps, and then I think there was a real love between us as a teacher-student, and a trust. And so from there, I'm just part of the family. I got crackers all over me back here.
So, are y'all teachers? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Could you put yourself as a third grader? Because we can't really officially diagnose dyslexia until third grade, right? And right now, as an adult, your motivation with your daughter, but a third grader.
That's
how
phenomenal. So
it's how do we motivate them and
so
get them to?
I speak at a lot of dyslexia schools, and some of this stuff I wish I would have known. I never knew that it was dyslexia schools that actually help kids. I've been going around the world, and I've been seeing, some of the most amazing things that I'm like, hey, I'm gonna make sure that I lock these things in, because I have that same question, how do you motivate a 3-year-old to stay focused and locked in? But that's the thing about dyslexia, I believe, in my opinion, it's they have such a high awareness that it overrides the reading. So when I went into these schools, I'm walking around and I'm doing tours. I see kids on bouncy balls, right? And all right, that got some ADHD in it. But I'm seeing kids so interested in this sport in Gillingham, because I think they have been prepping the kids from first grade, if that makes sense. And they using these flashcards with these same flashcards up here. And I think a kid knows that has dyslexia, or maybe not, knows that this is something they should be doing, if that makes sense. So I think it interests them a lot more, because it's I know a lot of this stuff, or as a 3-year-old, I know I should be doing this, but this right here is something that's calling me to pay close attention. So I'm watching them doing these things, and they picking it up so easily. So I hope that answer it's not easy, as you know, but when you staying consistent and you're going through this program and they starting to feel smart, and you helping lead them on, not feel smart, they are smart, but you're showing that they know the answer, they just got to dig a little harder or work a little bit different than other kids, then that's how you lock them in. Because Miss Sue kept being consistent even when I was giving her a hard time. And I was giving her a hard time because a lot of people quit. A lot of people quit on me in my life. So, Miss Sue, I don't know if you can jump in on that one about the 3-year-old, but.
Well, third grader.
Oh, third grade, sorry.
So,
Third.
Consistency is important. I'm working with a Down student right now. She just turned 7. Her name is Addie, and it was fun today. I actually videotaped. I got her mom's permission as we did the auditory drill, and she was writing in the sand. And it's a slow show with Addie, but Addie now has the short A, the short I, she knows all the clock letters, you know, we write the A, the D, the G, and you know, her mom is just like, wow, you know, she's finally reading little sentences in these little books, and it's just, you know, we always are coming back to what she already learned and review it, and then add a little something. We come back and review, and you guys know your lesson plan. Have they done the lesson plan yet? Yeah. You just have to hammer on what you've already learned, you know, and then you add a little something at the end. It's that consistent, and I've always found kids you're unlocking a code. I haven't had to be so convincing. Are you enjoying this? I haven't had to be that convincing because they see, oh, I can do this book now. I mean, to me, it just happens. It's organic.
That's that emotionally sound principle of Gordon Gillingham. It's
Yeah.
like, you teach them and they realize that this works. We have to break.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
One takeaway that I think is good for teachers to hear, you talked about your being charming, you talked about that last time I heard you too. And I have a daughter who is dyslexic, and she charmed her way through high school, and still today hates reading, but I didn't get her in my life until she was 10, so she was already, anyway, that's another story. But the fact that he was charming, I mean, you think about the kids in your class, and we all want to be fair to all children, but don't we kind of give the benefit of the doubt to the kid who is charming and well-behaved and helpful? And oftentimes that is a disservice, because, you know, if they are tottering between a D and a C, oh, he's such a good kid. You know, he's so likable, I'm gonna give him a C. But does he know the stuff? And have you taught him what he needs to know? And that's how you can graduate from college at a 4th grade reading level, because teachers are kind of, instead of wanting to face the hard questions of what are we gonna do about this reading issue, we, you know, want to be nice to the charming children, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's a takeaway for me, so.
You know, Heidi, who testified in the committee, she said in her remarks, she's 8, and she's one of my kids, and she said, I always help the teacher. She'd get out of it by helping the teacher.
Yes.
And her parents were the point where our daughter is in 2nd grade, she's not learning to read, but boy, she likes to help the teacher, and that, you know, it just wasn't what wasn't happening. I know we have to leave. 2 things.
You don't have to leave, I just need to let everybody get their lunch.
Oh, okay.
Stay.
2 things I want you to hold on to. You said, this isn't instruction just for dyslexics. This is basic understanding of English, and you can apply this to teaching any child to read. Every child should know this stuff, if you ask me. Secondly, it works in a classroom setting. I was at Scarlett for my last 4, and I had, you know, I don't know, 8 to 12 students at a time. They come to me for English class. And they'd come in, and you had my little ladybug, and we were in a place where boom, 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 we do our visual drill, our auditory drill, I do some dictation. And now, when I would do my follow-up exercises, it would break out a little bit depending on sort of where the students were. But they do different word lists when we practice a phoneme, but mostly all the kids couldn't spell. That was pretty uniform. So there's ways that this can be applied to a classroom. And you know, Susan can work with you on that. I'm available. I'll help if anybody wants it, but it works beautifully in a classroom. And that was probably the hard part about retiring for me, because it was just cruising at Scarlett. But how lucky was I to retire before the pandemic, not knowing that the pandemic was coming, all you people had to be faced with that. But, so anyway.
All right, well, let's